Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by, and I need to turn the kit off because it's making a lot of noise. So let me just do that. Oh, it's like you've gone deaf. Now, I'm recording on my phone. I have no camera, as explained yesterday. And I also have a problem because there is a gadget that I've got that the phone screws into it and it then fixes to the tripod. It needs a link between the gadget and the tripod, which is screwed to the bottom of my camera, which is in Malvern. So this phone is just perched on the tripod, it's not fixed. If I knock the tripod, the phone will fall off. And we've already smashed the back, we don't want to smash the front, especially as the protective case will arrive tomorrow. And I'm hoping that once I get the protective case on, I don't need to repair the glass. It can just stay in the case, I can't see the cracks, and it should just carry on working because all the buttons and gizmos and things. Right, so this morning, as an experiment, I've got a couple of video clips and some photos on the phone already. And you go onto Google, there's always something on YouTube to show you how to do things. How to transfer a video from iPhone 11 Pro to laptop. You get the cable and you plug it in, and there's not much other than pairing the devices. So on my laptop, when I go into Explorer, it shows me my C drive and my D drive and any external drives that are attached to it. So my phone just looks like another drive. So when I finish recording this video, I can just drag it across onto my C drive on the laptop and put it into my editing software as though I'd filmed it on my normal camera and downloaded it. There's always a way. Anyway, this video, I did go to an orchid show yesterday. With all the faff that went on, I completely forgot I did actually get some plants. So this video is just, I can't even call it an unbagging video, it's an unwrapping video. The plants came from Ecuagenera with Lynn's help. I don't buy these sort of plants when I've got that genus is, you know, knowledgeable person stood right next to me without the help. So what did I get without knocking the tripod? If this phone falls off, I'm not going to be happy. Right, plant number one. Masdevallia falcata. Now it's got a capital F on it, on the label. That doesn't mean it's a hybrid. It just means it's got a capital F on it, but I will deal with that. Now this has got spikes sticking up in the air with, they're wrapped, which could mean we've got buds. But I'm going to need my scissors to get this wrapper off. What I'll do is I'll just rip up from the bottom. But Lynn had a look at the plants and said, yep, these look like good plants. You can't see the roots, they're wrapped in moss, as is always the case with Ecuagenera. But she did what she calls the tug test. I like the idea of that, I shall remember that. She puts her hand down inside the wrapper, grabs hold of a few of the leaves and tugs them. If they come off, the base is rotten. Remember. At which point you put the plant down without anybody noticing and pick up a different one. But she seemed to think these probably were okay. It is difficult to tell with Ecuagenera. I remember once at Malvern, this is many years ago, I was there on the last day, and at the end of the last day all the traders give a discount, and the Ecuagenera stand had lots and lots of Masdevallias that were reduced dramatically. So I bought quite a few and brought them home, and quite honestly they were all rubbish. Now I'm going to have to put this down. These spikes are bent, so even if there's buds on here I don't think they'll make it. I'll undo them gently, but I don't think. The spikes themselves have got a kink in them. I think they've been wobbled around somehow. It's all very well trying to wrap them. No, these buds are no good, they're rotten. So we won't worry about those, in fact we'll cut them off and I'll show you the picture. And hopefully we'll get some more reasonably soon. Right, basically this is just a nice orange, normal shaped Masdevallia. Now I'm just gonna, if this goes all over the floor, I'm bare feet at the moment, I'll explain. When I got my bonsai staging, this is a long time ago, I bought a second one. And the lady who delivered it, passed it to me out by the gate. And it slipped in my hands and landed on my big toe on my right foot. The nail is currently sort of coming off. And being in my shoes all day today, when I took my socks off when I got home, it's bleeding. So I have a dodgy toenail basically. So I'm not wearing shoes. And I won't be wearing shoes hopefully until that clears up. Now, if I undo this moss, it will go all over the floor, but it's got to be worth just peeling it back to see if we've got roots. We may or may not have roots. We have roots. They're not all good, but some of them are. So we do have some roots. I will get this moss off and put it in a pot with my moss. Probably with a bit of bark and a bit of perlite. But yeah, they always need repotting from Ecuagenera, so that's one. Oh, what else did I get then? I'm making a mess here. Well, another one. And this again has, you can see, if I show you now, look, you can see those buds, they're gone. Yeah, I don't know why they bother wrapping them like that. They never make it. But again, Lynn had a poke around and said, yeah, the leaves all seem to be attached to the base of the plant, so it should be okay. Just undoing the wrapping. I can't do this holding the phone and get the plants out of the wrapping, so there are bits where I'm not on camera. Well, tough. Now again, this is in exactly the same, wrapping, tightly wrapped around a moss ball, which is a separate lot of wrapping to the wrapping around the outside. Does that make sense? Well, it made sense when I thought it. It might not have made sense when it came out of my mouth, but that's what you've got. Let's just get this. They're all wrapped in an identical fashion, I must admit. They're very consistent. Just getting to make sure I've got all the polythene off, or most of it, so that we can at least open it up a little bit and see if we've got roots. Right, again, the flower spike is bent, so there's no point in keeping that. So we'll snip that off. We've got one yellow leaf, which is still well attached to the plant, even though it's gone a bit yellow, and the rest of the leaves don't look bad. Several of them have had this done. I always find that a bit of a cheat, because that leaf was obviously a brown tip or marked in some way, and it's been snipped. So's that one. So's that one. So at some point this had some dodgy leaves. Anyway, what have we got in the moss? We've got roots, look. We've got roots. So we'll be okay. We'll get that potted up with the other one. And you'll want to see what that one looks like, won't you? There's a picture of that one. Now this one you're going to like a lot. You can see why I chose that, can't you? I like my bright yellows and, yellows heading towards orange. Typical Masdevallia shape, kite shape with, one spike sticking up, two spikes hanging down. And that is nice and neat. I'm not even going to try and say that. You can say that. You can read as well as I can. Where's the centre of the camera if I hold that still? So that's what that one is, and it's a nice yellow, and hopefully we'll see some blooms in the not too distant future. Right, so you could say I don't need a camera. If I got a method of holding this phone so that I could, like I do with my camera, I go around with it on my hand with the strap and I point it at things. Well, if I could do that with my phone, I don't need a camera, do I? I think the quality of this is okay. You could tell me that. Now, what I've got to do now is that is a video stored on the phone. I've got to get onto the laptop, pair with the phone so that I can see my photos on the phone. And then all I've got to do is copy that video on the phone to a folder on the laptop. And then I can go into my normal editing software, open that file and do some edits, put some pop-ups, you know, put some words on. I can put my start and end around it if I choose to do so. I've just used the camera to film it instead of the phone to film it instead of the camera. But the camera is much easier to hold, deal with, zoom and everything. Like, I can't zoom that without going like that on the screen, and that doesn't look very elegant in the middle of a video, does it? Whereas when I'm doing it on my camera, you just see the results because it's done on the, you know, the slider on the camera. Anyway, so we've got a video for today, and as a consequence, we're going live for the Sunday chat at 1600 British summertime tomorrow afternoon. What's the expression? Be there or be square. Oh, I hate that. That's so 60s. so over and done with. Anyway, it would be nice to see you there, where I'll be doing the answers to the questions that were left on the video a couple of days ago. And yeah, we'll have a bit of fun. I found a way, I bet none of you knew that you could do this. We're Windows technology here. Forget all the Mac stuff and the stuff with an I in the front of it, all that cobblers. It never seems to work properly. This is on Windows. And on Google Chrome, you open up a tab. And if you want another one, you open up a new tab. And it brings up another screen where you can do a search, or you can, you know, use one of your headings and bring that in. But I bet you didn't know what you can do. When you've got a tab open, you've got the name of it. You might have several open. But on the end of those names is a blank bit. If you hold the control key down and click in that back blank bit and drag it over to the left, it forms a shadow window behind. You've squashed everything up now. Behind that is a shadow window, which will either be like near the top or the whole bit. If you let go, that's now taking up half the screen. And you can open another tab in the other half of the screen. So I can be watching the video live and looking at the comments from the other video that I've already recorded on the same screen next to each other. There's posh. It's called YouTube. How to get two screens up at the same time. Ooh, you do it like this. If it's been done before, there'll be a YouTube video to tell you how to do it. You've just got to put the right words in to find it. Otherwise you get a load of cobblers, basically. Yeah, so I should, on the laptop, I should be able to have a split screen with the comments from the original one, which are the questions to my answers. And on the other screen will be the live picture with the comments that are coming in against that live broadcast. And I'll have questions and comments and coming in like that. And I'll probably just go do lally and keel over on the floor. Anyway, thanks for dropping by. Just a quick having a look at you can't even call it an unwrapping or an unbagging video because it was off camera. But those are the two plants I got. The reason I got Masdevallias is at the moment, the Masdevallias I've got are growing much better than any Masdevallias I've had before. Like I've always said, look at your environment and get orchids to suit it. Don't get orchids and then try and create an environment to suit them, because you'll often fail. Now, I know this environment now. It's taken a year and a half to get my head round how this all works. So new orchids coming in will be geared up to how this works now. So we'll see how we do. That dog again. It reminds me of the episode of Big Bang Theory when Sheldon's sister turned up. You know, sort of nobody knew he had a sister, and it's twin sister, but they're not identical twins. And the nerds over the other side of the corridor are all coming over to ask to take her out. And Raj can't talk in front of women unless he's had a drinky poos. I've known a lot of people like that. So he comes over to have a chat to Missy, and as the door opens and Missy arrives, his medication, his alcohol, wears off. And he just makes noises. He just goes, and walks away. And Missy looks at Penny and goes, "We had a dog made a noise like that once. You had to have it put down." And every time I hear a yowly, weird, yappy little horrible dog like that, that little clip reminds me of Raj and this medication wearing off. Anyway, I need to get some food. I've been at an archery course today. I'm going to call it a success because I enjoyed it, but my body didn't. Luckily, the sun was hazy behind clouds a lot of the time, but that didn't stop it being hot and humid. And I'd forgotten my back. And a lot of it was standing around, waiting for things to happen. Now, I've got to do the same again next Saturday. I will take a chair with me next week. So while I'm waiting around for things to happen and people explaining stuff, I'll sit down. I've come home with real backache, and that's on top of yesterday at Malvern. So tomorrow, my back's going to be bad. Predictable, expected, but nonetheless, it will be so. And it could be quite grim. Along with me big toe, and you know, I'm falling apart. It's called getting old. I should just take me up the vets, put me down. Save the expense. Anyway, I shall see you tomorrow, hopefully for the live chat. We'll have a bit of a giggle. I mean, there's a serious side to it. The questions are serious. This is people who want answers to their problems. That bit's a serious bit, but we can still have a bit of fun, can't we? What's life without a bit of fun? I don't know what I'd call that, actually. I don't want none of that. Anyway, see you tomorrow, and thanks for dropping by. Hopefully we'll get these Masdevallias sorted out. That'll be another video when I get my camera back on Monday. It will come back with my plant, with my dendrobium, to Alan and Sue's, and I will go up and pick both on Monday morning, mid-morning. That's the arrangements. So I'll have my camera by Monday afternoon. And then we'll get back to some sort of normality, because this is all very well, but I'm petrified of knocking that. If I knock that tripod, that phone will fall. It's just precariously perched. And we don't want precariously perched, we want screwed in tight. That's what we want. So anyway, see you tomorrow afternoon. Let's have a bit of fun. Bye for now. See it. Oh, I'll edit it. I was going to say, and I hate this in videos where people have to go and do something. Well, I've got to go and do it, but I can edit it out, which means you won't see it. So why am I bothering telling you? We'll call it a blooper and I'll leave it in.